Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is the second dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. Also, please make sure you follow the QueenAShakur fan page, and you can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, hello, Miho, Black, just us, I'm Black. Hello, Bree, Trisha, He's so Japer. Okay, Neon Black, see Mommy Mac, Lee, Woke One is in the house, Nene Knows, Kim Lee, Yahweh. All right, Aeon, I see you, True Justice. Shout out to everyone in the chat, Just Biz, The Conscious Room, Bree, Pride at Bentley, Asha, Yvette. Okay, Queen Adaya, I see you. So let's get into it, people. Now we have one more live after this, okay? So first things first, before we talk about the CEO from MARTA who committed suicide, listen to this report about Flint, Michigan. I find this very interesting. Now, this is reported by The Hill, and this came out today. So I'm going to share my screen so you all can hear this report.
And racketeering charges that were never filed in the Flint water crisis scandal. According to the duo, a team of Michigan prosecutors were on the verge of filing major RICO charges against the architects of a shady bond deal that residents and experts say sparked the crisis. However, they were stopped in their tracks when Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel took office in 2019. She fired and replaced the team of prosecutors, even once calling their investigation, quote, politically charged show trials. And those RICO charges remain unfiled.
Jordan and Charlie join us now to take us through it. Jordan is a reporter with Status Quo News. Charlie is a reporter and host of No BS News Hour. We're so glad to have you both with us.
Glad to be here, man. Thank you.
Thank you. So Jordan, we'll start with you. Walk us through this a little bit, and what do you think was the motivation for the AG to drop this? What's her excuse?
Yeah, so hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but the kind of precipitator to the Flint water crisis was an allegedly fraudulent bond deal that helped Flint, which in 2014 was broke, had no credit rating, helped them join a new water system, which kind of snowballed from there. So our reporting showed that the original Flint water investigation under the previous attorney general, they were aggressively going for RICO charges, which RICO was created in the 70s to go after organized crime, mafia figures, for that alleged fraud. Then when Attorney General Nessel gets in, she fires that whole original team, and it seems there was no follow through on the RICO charges. She also separately dropped financial charges that had already been filed against state officials related to that allegedly fraudulent bond deal. I can't get in her head why they didn't follow through on those RICO charges, why they dropped other financial charges. But what we do know and report in the story is the state of Michigan, if the RICO charges went forward, the state of Michigan faced potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in liability because they signed off on an administrative consent order that led to the bond deal. And JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, who issued the bonds, they also face potential liability. So I don't know why she hasn't followed through, but we do know that there was an aggressive financial investigation that pretty much got buried.
And Charlie, what is your sense of how strong the evidence was behind the RICO charge? In other words, if they'd gone forward with it, how likely would they have been to get a conviction?
It's a great question. So, okay, let me just make it clear. Jordan has been bird dogging this thing from the beginning. We were involved with this before there was even an investigation. We know 1,000%. Go to the Guardian, put in Jordan, LaDuff, Flint. 1,000% everything here is accurate. They were coming. This was a ripoff. Simply put, it was a ripoff. We know that Flint didn't need a new water system. Detroit gave them water for 60 years. 60 years. The water was fine. It was expensive. That everybody decided they're going to build a new water system to make some dough. except they forgot, in the meantime, the water system's to be built. But in the meantime, we're going to drink out of the river and process it through a plant that doesn't work. Why? Because they didn't have the money to fix the plant. That's basically, it's this. We're going to build a water system. In the meantime, by the time it's up and running, we're going to give you swill, pig water, right? Dogs wouldn't drink out of this river. That's the fraud. It's quite obvious. The investigation was strong. We've got all the documents. Without the documents, me looking at it, Jordan looking at it, you knew something was wrong. And look, the charges are for these public officials. You knew about it. People died. You didn't say anything. Yes, that's bad. And they should be put on trial for that. But the people that concocted the poisoning, the whole plan, they all get to walk. So you know what happens? They have children, and my children got to battle their children because there's a corrupt element in the country. You know it. The country knows it. People of Michigan know it. Jordan knows it. The Attorney General knows it. And there is no true justice. End of story.
Yeah, and so I think, you know, it's interesting because this, you know, this scandal, and I'm a Michigan native. I know people who live in Flint. It's horrible what happened. This was a screw up, a horrible thing that did speak to corruption at various levels of government and people in both political parties. So that so it's interesting that this is obviously a Democratic Attorney General, and previously the Republican Attorney General was the one pursuing these RICO charges. But so Jordan, is it, you know, is there a discernible like political motive here? Because there were Democratic and Republican officials, right? Like Governor Snyder was taking heat for this. It was really across the board corruption allegations. That's my sense of it. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you know, at the top, obviously, Governor Snyder was a Republican administration, so most of the officials that were being gone after were Republicans, but there were also local Democratic officials kind of in on this pipeline deal that Charlie was just referring to. So there were both Democrats and Republicans that made the wrong decisions, also covered up the toxic water in real time as residents were drinking it. I will say the Republican Attorney General, Bill Schuette, that launched the original investigation, he had hired a special prosecutor. So kind of like think Robert Mueller, but for Flint. Mm-hmm. So it was the original investigation was outsourced to a special private investigator. The chief investigator was the former head of the FBI in Detroit. He actually had previously investigated the Gambino crime family, 9/11, some serious stuff. The current attorney general, when she got in there, for whatever reason, maybe politics, wiped clean Schuette's team, wiped clean the Republican attorney general's team, brought in her new team. I can't give you the exact reason, call it incompetence or other motives, but they did not follow through on this, following the money.
Okay, I'm not going to play that whole thing because it's like, 10 or 15 minutes long. But I want to say this. So that was all corrupt and all done purposely for money. The water was fine before they started messing with it so they could make more money. And none of those thugs are going to prison. That's what they're not going to do. And then they said when they brought in this new attorney general, she got rid of everybody else and brought in her own crew. And she got rid of that guy who was working with the FBI in Detroit. The one who investigated 9/11 and other things or whatever. Yeah, she got rid of all of his work. I guess that just was all thrown away. And then they said that these were poor decisions and bad choices. No, this was corruption and lies and deceits. Okay, and murder. That's what it was. Because some of those people died from that poison water. This was absolutely done on purpose. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't poor choices. They made those choices on purpose. That's what they wanted to do. And as I have told you all numerous of times, if you watch this movie called 3 the Hard Way that came out, I believe, in 1973 or 74, it was about these wannabe supremacists poisoning the water systems in Black neighborhoods in LA, in Detroit, and Washington. So y'all think this is a coincidence? I mean, they made a movie about this in 1973, and then it happens. And one of the states where it happened was Detroit. So I'm just saying, make it all make sense, right? So absolutely, it was all done for profit. And they did this because Flint is densely populated with Black people. Okay? That's why they did it. And they didn't have any problem doing that. But these are the same people who sit there and lie to your face and act like they give a damn whether or not you're healthy or not. I've been telling y'all that all this stuff going on with Flint's poisoned water, it's about 7 years in now, and they've not fixed the situation. But y'all think they want us to be healthy. Y'all think they really care about Black folk when they let the police kill your behinds unarmed with impunity. And if they do go to jail, how long do they get? 3 to 4 years? Yeah, that's about it. Also nefarious. Also nefarious. Now let's talk about the CEO of MARTA. Very ironic that this man who was the CEO of MARTA in Atlanta committed suicide by throwing himself in front of a train. MARTA CEO Jeffrey Parker dies by suicide after stepping in front of a train. Jeffrey Parker was named CEO and General Manager of MARTA, the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. That's what MARTA stands for, in March of 2018. So Jeffrey Parker, the CEO and General Manager of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, has died, according to members of the MARTA Board of Directors. Now, Bill Floyd, a member of the MARTA Board of Directors, confirmed that Parker died on Friday after stepping in front of a train at the East Lake MARTA station. And this was in Decatur, Georgia, according to the Decaturist.com. According to the MARTA website, Parker had over 35 years of experience in both the private and public sectors of the transportation industry. He first assumed the role of CEO and General Manager in March of 2018 and was recently helping MARTA take on its most ambitious transit expansion and modernization program since its founding 40 years ago. Now, Chairwoman Rita Scott announced Parker's death by suicide in a statement on Saturday, calling him an outstanding leader and steward of MARTA, whose passing leaves us all heartbroken, she said. And so her statement says, as chairwoman and on behalf of my fellow MARTA board members, we are devastated at this loss as we value Jeff's leadership and look forward to him bringing his vision for transit to fruition. Now, the entire Metro Atlanta region owes him a debt of gratitude for his transformational efforts, and we will not stop working to build on the foundation he created. She continued to say, as we struggle to understand the complexity of this tragedy, we grieve with and for his family, his wife, Erin, his daughters, and all of Jeff's family and friends, as well as his MARTA family. Now, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp mourned Parker's death on Twitter Saturday, honoring the late CEO for his incredible mind for transportation and logistics and his heart for people, adding that he will be greatly missed. He had an incredible mind for transportation and logistics and a heart for the people. That's what he said. So anyway, with that all being said, this is why I want to talk about this story. This man was a CEO and he had all this money, right? With that all being said, how many of you feel like, you know, Swear Girl said that somebody pushed him? No, nobody pushed him. He stepped in front of the train himself. So he absolutely did it to himself. It was suicide. So with that all being said, how many of you think that money can buy happiness? Because a lot of people seem to think so. Lynn Marcus says, I'm not jumping in front of nothing. Rest in peace to him, though, but I ain't killing myself. Well, that's good. None of us should kill ourselves. You should never take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That's all that suicide is. You see, troubles don't last always. No matter how bad things are going, there's always the ability for you to turn things around. If you just hold on, you know, tie a knot at the end of your rope and hold on. I mean, don't just commit suicide. That's never the solution as far as I'm concerned, no matter how bad things get. But with that all being said, so I'm waiting to see ones in the chat if you think that money can buy you happiness. Twos in the chat if you think that it cannot. Knots. I'm just curious to see what people have to say about this. Judah Queen says, I'm grateful for life. Absolutely, as am I. Aeon said, not at all. I think money makes people crazy. Well, I think people that have money that are crazy, I think they were usually already crazy. That's just my opinion. So a lot of people are saying twos. Okay, good. Because here's the thing. Money cannot buy you happiness. You see, what some people don't realize is your happiness usually has to do with your mindsets. Okay? It usually has to do with your mindset. Do you vibrate high or do you vibrate low? Are you sometimes up and mostly down, or are you mostly down and sometimes up? I mean, these are the things that determine your happiness. Now, some people are very materialistic and they like fancy things and glitz and glamour and all of that. And they like to try to keep up with the Joneses or outdo other people. And so they feel like money makes them happy. But at the end of the day, does it really? Because you see, there's some things that money absolutely cannot buy. And I think that happiness is the main one, because if you get sick with a terminal illness and you're dying, is that money going to save you? Likely not. Likely not. And at the end of the day, money cannot change your mindset. You change your mindset. You change the way you think. Now, if a person is a butthole, if a person is just ignorant, if a person is just wicked and nefarious, well, the more money they have, they're just going to be more of what they already are. Right? So happiness is a state of mind. Like I taught you all in my spiritual class, you have to have an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for the things that you have. Be optimistic rather than pessimistic, and think about the good and the positives as opposed to the negatives. And don't focus on what you do not have, because the more you focus your energies and thoughts on what you don't have, the more of it you won't have. Okay? Thoughts become reality, and thoughts are energy. Everything around us is energy and operates on vibrations and frequencies. So the more negative thoughts you think, the more negativity you draw to yourself. And I've had people to tell me that, you know, they pray and the things they pray for don't happen. That's usually because the things they're praying for, they don't even believe that the things are going to happen. They're praying with a pessimistic mindset. Okay, they're praying and wanting and hoping things happen, but also doubting that they actually will. So that doubt is negative energy. And if you have negative energy overriding your positive energy, well, the negative is going to win. So with that all being said, I absolutely do not think under any circumstances that money can buy happiness. There's many of people that have lots of money and they are not happy at all. There's many of people who have lots of money and they commit suicide. I mean, let's look at Robin Williams. Robin Williams was always smiling in public, was a comedian, always full of jokes. No one would ever have even known or thought, perhaps, that he was even depressed. He had all the money and everything, right? Then you have the lovely Phyllis Hyman, right? Phyllis Hyman committed suicide. So with that all being said, no, I don't think money buys you happiness. I think that whatever you are initially, money just makes you more of that. Okay? So, Sister Funkenstein said Robin Williams was told that he had a terminal illness. Well, he likely did have a terminal illness, and I'm quite sure that would make a lot of people depressed. Again, that just goes to show money can't buy you happiness. Because if you have all the money in the world and they tell you you have a terminal illness, like I just said, and that money's not going to be able to save you, then what? So that's the answer. Hold on, I'm trying to clear this chat. Okay. Queen Adaya says, many people have replaced the Most High with money. Yes, not going to work. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing. Many people worship money, and those people who worship money, I'm sure in their feeble little minds, they absolutely think that money makes them happy. Now, they may be happy for now, but I guarantee you, if they get sick and they're lying there on their deathbed, or they need a kidney and somebody's not going to give them one, or they have a heart issue and they can't get a heart transplant or whatever, that money's not going to do them a bit of good. And so with that all being said, yes, some people absolutely worship money. That's why they go out here and con and lie and steal and commit fraudulent acts and, just tell people all kinds of stuff to just con people out of money. Because those people do allow money to be their God. And if money is your God, well, you'll always lose. You'll always lose because it is the love of money that is the root of all evil. And that's why many of people who love and worship money get their money by ill-gotten gains, either through lying, cheating, being deceitful, or doing something nefarious. And even still, they're not often happy in the long run because they have to face the consequences and the karma of their actions. Okay? So Rose Mitchell says, I love Phyllis Hyman. Truly sad when she died. Yes, absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Now, I have one more live that I'll be doing, starts in 5 minutes on the original Queen MARTA channel. We're going to be talking about Pharrell Williams because he has been getting a lot of hate from some wannabe supremacists online that I've been reading these comments. They're upset because he has been telling businesses recently to invest in Black entrepreneurs. And for some reason, a lot of people don't like when people start promoting Black folk and when they tell you to buy Black and support Black businesses and support Black entrepreneurs. They don't like that. I find that very interesting because I don't have a problem when any other group or ethnic race or group of people tell people to do that. They only get mad when Black people do. Isn't that something? The hate on Black people is real. Okay, so we're going to talk about that next. So with that all being said, everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you all in the next chats. Peace.